My beloved child, listen with deep awareness, for your life is not made only of the things your eyes can see, your hands can touch, and your ears can hear. There is an unseen realm moving beside you every day, silent yet powerful, hidden yet able to influence the way you think. Choose, pray, and stand firm. You may be sitting in a quiet room, walking along a familiar road, or smiling before others as though everything is normal. Yet, in the secret place, there are currents of influence trying to pull you in two different directions. On one side are light, truth, peace, and life that come from me. On the other are darkness, deception, fear, and whispers that want to make you forget who you are in my hands. Do not think that the days when your heart feels heavy, your mind is covered with doubt, or your heart suddenly grows cold toward hope are entirely random. Not every storm comes with a loud roar. Some storms begin with a small thought, "You are not good enough." Some chains are formed by a sentence repeated again and again within the heart, "You will never change." Some prisons have no stone walls, but are built from self-blame, loneliness, shame, and painful memories that have not yet been placed into my hands. The enemy of the light knows how to sow very small seeds into the places where you are most weary, then waits for them to grow into confusion. But today, I come to tell you this: you do not need to keep believing those words anymore. Before you knew yourself, I knew you. Before you could name your dreams, I placed holy seeds within you. You are not an accidental presence in this vast world. You are not someone abandoned in the chaos of life. You carry my mark. You carry the breath of my creation. You carry a calling that darkness cannot erase. That is why you are opposed. Not because you are meaningless, but because you have value. Not because you are weak, but because there is something in you that I have sown. If you truly did not matter, darkness would not spend effort trying to discourage you. If you did not have a journey prepared by me, there would not be so many voices trying to make you stop halfway. Understand this, my child. The greatest battle often does not take place in a crowd, but in the moments when you are alone. It comes when you must decide whether to believe my word or believe the emotions that are wavering within you. It comes when you stand before the choice to forgive or continue holding bitterness. It comes when you want to pray but your heart feels dry. When you want to keep walking but your feet seem to have no strength left. When you want to hope but old memories keep pulling you backward. That battle does not need the swords and weapons of the earth, because it aims at your faith, your peace, your obedience, and your ability to recognize my voice among countless mixed sounds. Therefore, you must learn to stay watchful, not through fear, but through closeness with me. There are times when the enemy does not attack you with something obviously evil. He may use delay to make you doubt the promise. He may use the silence of others to make you think you are unloved. He may use a small failure and magnify it into a lifelong sentence. He may remind you of your past while deliberately hiding the grace I have covered you with. He may say, "You have gone too far, made too many mistakes, missed your opportunity, and are no longer worthy of being used by me." But I ask you, who has the right to define you? If not the one who created you, who has the right to decide the final chapter of your life? If I am still writing that story with mercy, remember Daniel, the one who prayed faithfully, though he was surrounded by the power of a foreign kingdom. When his prayer was lifted up, the answer from heaven was sent. Yet, on its way to him there was resistance in the unseen realm. Daniel did not see everything taking place behind the veil. He only knew to continue humbling himself, continue persevering, and continue seeking me. And then, at the appointed time, the answer was revealed, along with the truth that his prayer had been heard from the very first days. Do you see? Delay is not always denial. Silence is not always absence. There are things I began to set in motion the moment you opened your heart before me, even though your eyes had not yet seen the result. Therefore, when you pray and do not yet see the door open, do not let go too quickly. When you do what is right and still face opposition, do not think I am not with you. When you feel as though everything is standing still, remember that the unseen realm is still moving under my sovereign rule. Not one sincere prayer of yours is taken lightly. Not one tear falls without my knowing. Not one sigh in the dark of night is lost from my mercy. You see only the surface of the wave, but I see the whole ocean. You see only today, but I am guarding tomorrow. My child, do not let isolation deceive you. One of the things darkness often does is make you believe that no one understands you. No one stands with you, and no one still needs you. It wants to separate you from support, from encouragement, from the holy presence of me. It wants you to remain silent in pain, withdraw into shame, and slowly believe that weariness is your destiny. But I say to you, step out of that dark room. Call on me. Open your heart. Let the light come in. You were not created to be locked inside lies. You were called to rise, to live in truth, and to become one who carries light into the places that once frightened you. I am not telling you to deny what you have been through. I am not telling you to pretend that you have never been hurt. Nor am I telling you that you must instantly become strong as though you had never been wounded. What I invite you to do is bring all of it near to me, so I may turn it into wisdom, compassion, and holy endurance. The cracks within you do not frighten me. It is through those places that were once broken that my light can shine out most gently. What the enemy wanted to use to make you ashamed, I can turn into a testimony of restoration. What once caused you to collapse, I can turn into ground upon which you stand more firmly. My beloved child, guard your words, for words are seeds. Guard what you meditate on, for what you nourish in your mind will gradually form pathways within your heart. Guard what you allow to enter your life, for not every voice comes from the light. When a thought pulls you away from peace, bring it before me. When an emotion makes you want to give up, let me touch it. When an accusation rises, ask whether it carries the fragrance of truth and grace. I do not lead you with chaos. I do not teach you through despair. My voice may correct, but it always leads toward life. My voice may bring you to repentance, but it never buries you in shame. Now, I want you to stand in powerful peace, not with arrogance, not with anger, not with the effort to prove yourself, but with the certainty that you belong to me. You are not a victim of dark whispers. You are not determined by your weekdays. You are not the sum of your failures, your wounds, or the words others have spoken about you. You are my child, called out of fear into light, lifted from confusion to live in truth, protected by the unchanging love of the Father who knew you before the beginning. And when darkness tries again to whisper that you cannot keep going, remember my word today. You may be tired, but you are not abandoned. You may not understand everything yet, but you are still being guided. You may still be learning how to stand firm, but I have placed within you the seed of victory. Hold on to me. Pray without ceasing in your heart. Choose the light, even if only with one small step, and do not allow lies to determine your direction. The battle is real, but my power is more real. Opposition is real, but my love is stronger. And you, my beloved child, were not called to live with your head bowed in fear, but to walk as one guarded, upheld, and sent forth by my light, my beloved child. Remember this with full awareness. You cannot step into the new season while your hands are still clinging to the burdens of the old season. A boat that wants to go out to sea cannot be filled with the stones of the shore it has left behind. A traveler who wants to go far cannot carry torn garments soaked with the scent of fear, wounds, and regret. I am opening before you another journey, a road washed with grace, illuminated by wisdom, and led by the holy breath of me. But to step into it, you must let me remove from you the old baggage you have carried for so long that you have mistaken it for part of yourself. There are pains you have called memories, attachments you have called love, habits you have called safety, but I see clearly they are slowing your steps, weighing down your heart, and making it harder for you to hear my voice in this new season. When night falls and every sound outside begins to fade, I want you to understand that stillness is not emptiness, but a sacred room where I meet you most gently. There are words I do not speak amid noise. There are things I do not reveal while you are still busy chasing the scattered calls of life. It is precisely when the night becomes deep, when you no longer have to play the role of being strong before anyone, when your heart can hear clearly the trembling of its own rhythm, that I draw near and place my hand upon you. Tonight is not merely an ordinary night passing like any other night. This is a moment of seasonal transition, a quiet yet powerful marker, where I begin to rearrange what has been disturbed, wipe clean the places covered with the dust of anxiety, and pull you out of the things you have endured in silence for too long. You have sensed this before, have you not? There are days when you enter your own home, yet your heart is not completely at peace. There are familiar corners that suddenly feel heavy, conversations that seem light on the surface but leave a trace of unrest within you, dreams that you wake from, yet still echo in your mind like a message not yet interpreted. You have wondered whether you are too sensitive, whether you are overthinking, whether it is only temporary tiredness. But I say to you, not every deep perception is imagination. There are times when I stir you with a very gentle uneasiness. There are times when I warn you through an unusual silence. There are times when I do not use thunder, but a small drop of rain falling steadily upon your heart, so that you may know something needs to be faced, brought into the light, and placed beneath my hand. My love for you is not a love that only lulls you into comfort. I love you with mercy, but also with holiness. I hold you when you are weary, but I also correct your steps when you draw near to the edge of a cliff. I forgive you, but I do not leave you forever bound in the things that drain you. I comfort you, but I also cut away the vines silently wrapped around your heart. My child, there are things that, if I do not touch them, will continue growing in the dark. There are things that, if I do not uproot them, will bring forth branches of sorrow in the next season. Therefore, when I act, do not misunderstand and think I have come to destroy your life. I come to rescue. I do not enter your house as a cold judge, but as a holy father, with light in my hand, mercy in my eyes, and a heart determined not to let you continue living in the things that draw you away from true peace. Perhaps tonight I will cause you to recognize certain things you once avoided. Perhaps I will expose sources of influence around you that are no longer pure. Perhaps I will cause you to understand why a certain relationship always drains your strength, why a place that seemed safe makes you tired, why a habit that seemed harmless quietly pulls you back into old cycles. But do not fear the light. My light does not come to humiliate you. My light comes to loosen chains. When a room is opened, dust will be revealed, but that is also when new air can rush in. When a wound is seen, it may hurt for a moment, but that is also when healing oil can be poured out. When the truth is called by its proper name, You no longer have to live in uncertainty. I want you to remember the people of Israel on the night they left Egypt. They had lived so long under the shadow of chains that the land of slavery had become familiar, even though it was painful. When I called them to leave, they could not carry the old way of life, the old fear, the old way of thinking, or the old dependence into a new journey. That night, deliverance was not merely leaving a land, it was leaving an oppressed identity. They had to eat in haste, with their belts fastened, sandals on their feet, and staffs in their hands, because my call was not an invitation to sit and mourn the past, but a command to set out toward the place I had promised. You are the same. My beloved, your new season is not merely an outward change. It is an exodus within your heart, a time to leave the things that once imprisoned your thoughts, emotions, and faith, so you may step into the freedom I have prepared. Therefore, do not carry Egypt in your heart while I am leading you toward the promised land. Do not carry the voice that once belittled you while I am calling you by a new name. Do not carry the fear of being abandoned when I have proven that I never left you. Do not carry old bitterness while I am placing within you a clearer stream. Do not carry old accusations while I am clothing you with new dignity. There are things you must release, not because they never had meaning, but because they are no longer allowed to rule you. There are memories that must be laid down, not to deny what happened, but so that you do not continue living as one controlled by the past. I am not telling you to forget by your own strength. I am inviting you to give them to me, piece by piece, tear by tear, sigh by sigh. Tonight, open your heart so I may enter the rooms you have locked. There are places within you that have not had light for a long time, not because I did not want to enter, but because you were afraid that if you opened the door, pain would rush in. But I do not come alone. I bring peace, purity, restoration, and the power to rebuild. I will not overturn everything and then leave you among the ruins. I will rearrange. I will sweep clean. I will restore the foundation. I will teach you to discern what comes from love and what merely wears the clothing of love while carrying the coldness of control. What is guidance and what is only pressure? What is a door I have opened and what is only a trap painted with the color of hope? From now on, do not live only by what your eyes see. Learn to recognize my movement in very small signs. When peace leaves a place, do not take it lightly. When your heart is repeatedly reminded to stop, do not rush forward merely because you fear losing an opportunity. When a dream repeats, when a word touches you deeply, when a delay appears at exactly the right time, bring everything to me. I do not want you to live in confusion, but neither do I want you to live carelessly. Watchfulness is not fear. Watchfulness is knowing that you are being led. Watchfulness is walking softly before me, not stubbornly resisting my gentle reminders. My beloved child, I am preparing a new dawn for you. But before dawn, there is often the deepest hour of night. Do not turn back because darkness is still around you. Do not become discouraged because cleansing makes you feel empty. A house that has been cleaned may be quieter than before, but that very quietness is where I place new peace. A heart that is let go may feel a temporary emptiness, but that very space is where I sow the seed of holy joy. You are not losing yourself when you release old baggage. You are returning to the person I called from the beginning. Therefore, rise with gentleness, but also with firmness. Pray, listen, and let me show you what must be kept and what must be left behind. Do not bring old chaos into the new room. Do not bring old attachments into the new promise. Do not bring unhealed pain into the relationships I am preparing for you. I am not hurried, but I am very clear. I do not force you, but I invite you into maturity. And as you lay down each burden, you will find your hands lighter to receive blessing, your steps steadier to follow me, and your heart clearer to recognize my voice. The new season has opened its door. My child, step into it, but step in as one who is free, no longer carrying the chains of yesterday. Your life will not always be filled with light. There are stretches of road I allow you to pass through, not because I want you to suffer, but because in those dark spaces, you will learn to recognize the true light. If every day were smooth, it would be hard for you to know what protection means. If every door opened easily, it would be hard for you to discern which path leads to blessing and which path takes you away from peace. If you had never cried, you would not understand the value of restored joy. And if you had never seen yourself as small, it would be hard for you to feel the greatness of my love covering your life. So do not quickly conclude that a difficult season is a sign that I have abandoned you. Many times, it is precisely in that season that I am working most deeply, most quietly, and most powerfully. I know there are times when your heart feels heavy, as though carrying an entire sky of rain. You look ahead and see only fog. Questions come one after another, like waves, while answers seem hidden somewhere very far away. You wonder why this is happening, why you have tried to live rightly and still must face trials that exhaust you, why there are things you prayed for long ago that still have not changed. My child, I do not take any of your questions lightly. I do not blame you for being tired. I do not turn my face away when you tremble, nor do I demand that you smile while you are breaking inside. I am your father, and a true father does not despise the tears of his child. There are lessons that cannot be given in a quiet room, but must be engraved deeply in the middle of a storm. There are levels of maturity that are not formed when everything is easy, but are born in the days when you must cling to me with every breath. There are pearls that appear only after the painful shell has been polished. You see loss, but I see purification. You see delay, but I see preparation. You see a closed door, but I see you being protected from what never truly belonged to you. You are looking at only one small piece of the picture, while I see every line from beginning to end. Therefore, when you do not yet understand, keep holding on to me. You do not need to understand everything in order to trust. You do not need to see everything in order to step forward. You do not need to be completely strong in order to be loved by me. My child, do not be ashamed of your tenderness. In my eyes, weakness is not failure. It is the place where you stop pretending that you can carry everything by yourself. I did not create you to live as someone who never grows weary. I did not call you to come to me only when you are composed, calm, and full of strength. I call you even when you are confused, when you cannot find beautiful prayers, when all you can whisper is, Father, I do not know what to do anymore. Those simple cries often touch me more deeply than many formal words. For what I seek is not a perfect outward appearance, but a heart that dares to open before my love. Remember Eliah, the one who once stood before my radiant power, who saw fire fall from heaven, who stood strong before the people, yet also came to a point where he was so weary that he wanted to give up. He ran into the wilderness, sat beneath a tree, carrying loneliness and exhaustion to their deepest point. But I did not come to him with blame. I did not ask why he was weak after such great victories. I did not judge the weariness of one who had served with all his strength. I sent an angel to care for him, to give him food and water, and to let him rest. Before I gave him a new direction, I restored his strength. Do you see? I care not only about your mission, I care about you yourself. I do not merely want you to keep walking. I want you to be lifted by love. Therefore, when you feel you no longer have enough strength, Do not be quick to condemn yourself. Perhaps what you need is not to push yourself harder, but to let me care for you. Perhaps what you need is not to answer every question immediately, but to remain still in my presence until your heart becomes calm again. Perhaps what you need is not to prove to everyone that you are strong, but to be honest with me that you are hurting, afraid, and unsure which way to go. I do not leave you because of that honesty. On the contrary, when you stop hiding, I have more room to enter and heal the places you have silently endured for too long. Some people think faith means never trembling, but I say to you, faith is often still placing your hand in mine, even while your heart shakes. Faith is not always a loud shout in the midst of victory. Sometimes it is only a small breath in the dark night. The decision not to let go of my hand, even though your eyes have not yet seen the dawn. You do not need to understand all my ways in order to be guided by me. You only need to trust that I will not lead you anywhere. My grace cannot keep you. Even when you pass through the deep valley, I am still the one who goes before you. Even when you walk upon restless waters, I am still the hand that pulls you up. Even when you think you have reached the end, I can still open a path where you thought only a dead end remained. My child, do not fear the seasons covered with clouds. Clouds cannot erase the sun. They only temporarily hide the light from your sight. In the same way, trials cannot erase my promise. They are teaching you to cling to what is more eternal than passing emotions. There will be days when peace returns to you very gently, like dew falling upon a dry field. There will be mornings when you wake and realize pain no longer holds you the way it once did. There will be steps that seem small but are signs that you are being restored. Do not underestimate those quiet beginnings. I often do great things through very small movements within your heart. I want you to know that your tears are not meaningless. Not one sigh is forgotten. Not one long night do I fail to count with you. What you are going through will not only be a story of sorrow, it will become a testimony of being upheld, of perseverance, of blessing poured out at the right time. One day, you will look back and realize that the very seasons that seemed as though they would make you collapse taught you how to stand firm in me. The places where you once felt empty became the very places where I poured in gentleness. The roads you once feared became proof that I never left you alone. Therefore, my beloved, let your heart rest in me. Do not force yourself to answer everything today. Do not demand that you be strong in the way the world requires. Be strong by trusting, by opening your heart, by allowing me to enter the places you once locked because you feared being hurt again. I will not abandon you halfway. I will not lead you into a storm and then stand far away watching you struggle. I am with you in every gust of wind, every long night, every tear, every trembling beat of your heart. And at the right time, you will see that the storm does not have the final word. The final word belongs to me, the Father who loves you with unchanging love, the one who has guarded you from the beginning and will continue to lead you to the peace I have prepared for you. Do not tremble when the truth is revealed. You may be surprised. You may be saddened when you realize something you once did not want to believe. You may have to release a person, a plan, an expectation, or a door you have held in your heart for too long. But I want you to know this. What I take from your hand is not to leave you empty, but to make your hand free enough to receive something better. I am not breaking you. I am setting you free. I am not leaving you without direction. I am bringing you back to the right path. And when you look back, you will see that the very moment you thought you were being separated from what you desired was the moment I was saving you from what would have exhausted you. Those who prayed for you did not pray because they wanted you to know every secret of heaven, but because they longed for you not to lose your way. True love always wants to protect, always wants to awaken, always wants the one it loves to walk in the light. I have heard those prayers. I have also heard your own sighs, even when you could not name the weariness within you. I have seen how you tried to be strong, tried to smile while your heart was heavy. I tried to trust when circumstances gave you no reason to trust. But today, I am not only comforting you, I am opening your eyes. There are things you need to recognize so that you do not continue giving your energy, time, and trust to places that are no longer worthy of them. Do not respond quickly with anger. Do not try to prove that you are right with a loud voice. When I reveal the truth, I will also give you the calmness to walk through it. You do not need to lower yourself in order to confront what is false. You do not need to lose your gentleness in order to protect yourself. Stand still in the dignity I have placed upon you. Let the light do the work of light. Darkness cannot argue with dawn. It can only withdraw when the new day comes. And that new day is coming for you. From now on, pay attention to the small signs. A word that makes you feel uneasy. A situation that repeats too many times. A door that closes even though you try to open it. A peace that suddenly leaves the place you once thought was safe. I do not always warn with thunder. Many times, I lead you through a very gentle impression. Through delay, through an unexpected meeting, through a casual sentence that touches exactly what you needed to hear. As you come closer to me, you will recognize that my voice does not need to be loud in order to be clear. My beloved child, be courageous. What is about to be revealed does not come to knock you down, but to remove chains from your steps. You have stayed too long in uncertainty, blamed yourself too much for things that were not your fault, and carried heavy questions no one has answered. But I am the one who sees from beginning to end. I know who is sincere and who is only passing through, who has been sent to lift you up and who has come only to test your wisdom. And I will not allow you to be swallowed by that confusion. Place your heart in my hands once again. Do not fear losing what does not belong to you. Do not fear leaving a place where peace no longer remains. Do not fear the truth. For truth, illuminated by me, will become a path of deliverance. I am clearing the sky within you again, wiping away the dust of doubt, and raising you to stand upright after the days when you bowed your head and endured. You are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are being kept by a love deeper than anything you can understand. And when everything is opened, you will no longer ask why I allowed it to happen. You will bow your head in gratitude because I came at the right time. Before you step too far away from the path of blessing I have prepared for you,